Hi, Brendon.
What's up?
First things first, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm alright, thank you.
Awesome.
What I want to start with is Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
When did your infatuation with him begin?
My infatuation with Frank Sinatra started when I was a kid. I didn't really know who he was at the time. I just knew what I was hearing. I really liked his voice. And one of the first times I actually was introduced to Frank Sinatra was in a movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he plays a little cartoon sword, and they just use his, witchcraft, that whole thing. And it was really funny to me. I was like, who is that guy? And then my parents were really into him. We'd listen to him over the holidays, all his Christmas albums. Sure. So that was like my introduction into it. And then the love and admiration just grew over time.
At this introduction, were you singing already?
Yeah, I was always singing. My family's really musical. So my mom plays piano and organ and sings in the choir. My dad sings in the choir, plays guitar. My sister played cello. All my other siblings sing. So we all grew up like gathering around the piano. My mom would play and we'd all sing along to stuff. So there's definitely been a love of music since I was just a tiny little child. But now it's grown like, it's just wildfire. It's crazy. Yeah.
So when, the new album came around, or maybe the touring for the last album was done, when did you return to kind of Frank Sinatra for inspiration?
Oh man, I always use Frank Sinatra for inspiration, but I never used it sonically, like trying to copy his songs. And then this time around, I wanted to write a Sinatra song. So I sat down at my piano. I just gotten this 1964 Yamaha U1, beautiful. I was like, I wanted a 60s piano, Sinatra era in the Vegas era. So I got this thing. I would sit down and play jazz chords, play Sinatra songs, and then I wanted to write my own. Then I mixed it with this hip hop beat that I had and made a song. Yeah.
And which song is this?
This is a title track, "Death of a Bachelor," and I love that song. That's my favorite right now.
Okay. And you say you wanted to write a Sinatra song. So how come? Why at this point go full for a Sinatra song?
I wanted to write a Sinatra song now because I feel like my voice had matured. I didn't sound like I was 16 anymore, so I could I could do the kind of lower notes and sing down here and all that stuff. So puberty happened. I think that's what happened.
And then, because this is the music you also grew up with. Mm-hmm. Was it in? I don't want to say nostalgic, but did it bring up a lot of memories from those days? Because the way you approached this new album was very similar to how you approached music back then.
Yeah, absolutely. Their memories are carried with every piece of music I listen to. That's like some of my deepest memories besides smell are sound and music and songs. And so when I hear a certain song, I go, I remember the first time I heard that song. Like Weezer's a good example too. The Blue Album. I remember stealing that cassette from my sister and playing it in my boombox and just loving it and just sitting there and trying to learn the drums to it and just like, this is so cool. I love the sound and just falling in love with the band, yeah.
And you mentioned drumming as well, and then obviously singing, but you play a lot of instruments.
Yeah.
Was it important for you to do it all by yourself this time?
Yeah, it kind of happened naturally, just me recording everything because I had just built a studio at my house, so I had all the instruments there, and I tend to do that anyways. Okay. And I've been doing that for every album anyways, but I ended up keeping all the stuff that I recorded instead of having the other guys re-record everything. So now it was just, I already recorded the drums, I already did the guitar, let's keep it, and then I'll just sing over it, let's just do that.
And part of it, obviously, Spencer, he left the band in 2015, officially. Yeah. Was it tough to see him go?
Yeah, it's tough, anytime someone leaves the band, but at the same time, it had happened gradually. It wasn't overnight, Sure. And we had talked about it a few times, We actually sat down and talked about, where do you see yourself going? Do you want to even do this anymore? And he was like, I want to do something, but I don't know if it's this anymore. And so we decided, he decided mostly, this is what I want to do. And of course I respect it, we're still best friends, but
Sure.
But it's cool to have that relationship and then still be able to go your own route and do something,
Of course. But then creatively, you lose somebody who you spar with, in a sense.
Sure, yeah.
So what was it like? It can, I think, go either way. Either it's very liberating to have complete control, in a sense, or it's the other way around. So what was it for you?
Yeah, my experience was very liberating. Okay. I felt like the things I couldn't do in the past because of so many compromises I had to make with other band members, it was me just having no limitations, which is pretty dangerous because I tend to just jump from sound to sound and get a little rambunctious, which I love. I love doing that, though. It's so much fun.
Is there one thing on the record, maybe a sound, maybe just a bit of a song that you couldn't have done on previous albums?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I don't think I would have been able to do the title track "Death of a Bachelor" previously with the other members, because I don't know if any of them would have wanted that. They'd probably dictate something else, but. No, for me, I was like, I'm doing a Sinatra, Beyonce song. I don't care. I'm doing this. I love it so much, yeah.
And because, well, obviously you've had a lot of success, is then always in the back of your mind kind of what people expect from you?
Never when I'm working.
Okay.
It's usually like it comes when the album's about to be released, like a week out from the album release. Then I start thinking like, oh, okay. I got to get ready for reactions. So now I need to start planning the tour and the live show and production ideas and video ideas, and then I start going into that world. Sometimes though it helps to like create stuff for all those other things besides music while I'm working on music. So sometimes I'll write a song and be like, oh, already got an idea for a video, or I've already got an idea for a live show. That helps too.
So when the album ended up being a #1 album, was that kind of an affirmation of your own, because you were doing it all by yourself?
I mean, getting a #1 album, there is some validation in it. I never expect it because, again, like I never think about it when I'm working on stuff, because I think that would freak me out if I was thinking about that all the time. I would probably write totally different stuff. But yeah, when that happens, man, it's really crazy. I can't, like even now, I can't believe that that's real. Because of the other albums that I was up against, that's just a testament to me of the fan support, because that has nothing really to do with my control over it. It's really to do with hopefully people like what I've done, and then it continues on with their support and how far they take it. So that's really the fans and the love for it. That's amazing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And well, there's obviously you enjoy making music videos in an age where maybe music videos aren't as valued as they once were.
Sure.
So why is this important for you?
I love music videos because it just gives me another outlet to vent creatively instead of just music. It's a chance to become an actor for 3 minutes at a time, you know what I mean? It's really cool to play different characters and figure out a different visual too for something that, maybe in the lyrics you would have an image in your head, but I like to go the opposite route and do something totally contrasted to it. Yeah. Would
you consider a real acting job, so to say?
If I was offered a real acting job, I might consider it. You know what's weird, as I've done a couple auditions for like movies and stuff, and I got so freaked out myself that I actually backed out. I was like, you know what, thanks for letting me audition, but I'm going to go. I get so nervous. I'm just like, I can't do this. It's so weird.
Can you give me a title?
Well, there was a movie. They didn't have a title at the time, just working titles, whatever. But it was this thing about a band in the 50s who was coming up and that would later like turn into something like the Rolling Stones. They were calling themselves like the Twilight Zones or something. But it was something really crazy like that. And I auditioned for this thing, and they were like, we like you because you're a musician and you can sing and you can do all this other stuff. And you're very like animated, and the character would be this like really crazy, just like the crazy guy in the band, And I was like, yeah, I could do that. I'm kind of crazy, I guess. Yeah.
Well, last question then, because what you just say, crazy. There's a song on the album, Crazy is Genius.
Yeah.
So and in the song you think, I'm at the top if crazy is genius. Yeah. So how do you balance these two worlds in a sense? The creative genius, if you want to call it that, and
it's tough because most of the time I think I'm just crazy. I don't consider myself a genius at all, like not even close. I think there are geniuses out there, but I'm nowhere near it. I think that the craziness though helps. Like for me, I want to push myself, and it's usually in the moments when I'm writing. I tend to like, you hit that 5-part cycle that an artist does, where you get that frustration, and then at the end you just want to die. You're like, I can't do this anymore. So when I hit that point, then I start losing my mind, and I'm just like getting cabin fever, locked away in this windowless room, and then like the real crazy stuff comes out, and then I tend to record that and then walk away. Then I walk away from that insanity. Then I come back the next day and I listen like with a fresh, objective point of view, and then I go, okay, that works, that's cool, that doesn't work, or whatever.
I think my time is up.
Are they giving us the? They're like,
yeah. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks. You guys. Thank you.